Hey movie fans, so I know we focused a lot on the movie side of things on this channel, and that's totally cool. Movies are one of my favorite things of all time, but I do have some all-time favorite TV shows that every once in a while I want to just bring to everybody's attention and just, spend a whole evening talking about. So that's what I'm going to do here today, because my all-time favorite TV show, by a wide margin, is Psych. And it wasn't until much later in life that I realized, oh, Psych very much lifted a lot of its style and personality, more or less, from the 1985 movie Clue. Now, I was late to the Clue party, one, because I was born in 93, but two, I just didn't see it. And then once I finally saw it, I'm going, yeah, this is one of my favorite comedies of all time. But I never really made the connection of Psych and Clue until like my second or third rewatch. I'm going, wait a second, that's a Psych joke right there. So honestly, that's what this video is going to be. It is my deep dive into both Psych, the fantastic TV show debuting in 2006, and Clue, the movie, like I said, from 1985, and more or less how Psych is the ultimate love letter to Clue. But before we dive into all that, Psychos, what's your all-time favorite Psych episode? Is it the Clue episode that we'll talk about here in a little bit? Clue fans, have you watched Psych? What's your favorite line from Clue? Whatever it is, let me know down in the comments below. Without further ado, let's dive into this thing. So for the uninitiated, what is Psych? What is Clue? And why do I keep saying that there's this parallel between the two? Clue is a, comedy mystery based off the board game. You got fantastic actors like Tim Curry, Martin Mull, Leslie Ann Warren, and it's just a wacky comedy of whodunit, in what room, with what weapon. It's Clue. What more do you want? It's Clue. Whereas Psych, it's a TV show that debuted in 2006 on the USA Network and stars James Roday and Dule Hill as Sean and Gus. Now, Sean was trained by his father to be a hyper-observant, child prodigy almost type of thing, because his dad, a cop, wanted Sean to grow up to be a cop just like him. Except, Sean hates his dad and everything that he stands for, and is just a rebellious man-child. Personal quick side here. 90% of my humor as a full-fledged adult and human being is just Sean humor. To my friends and family, I am sorry. Blame Psych for who I am. But fast forward to adult Sean Spencer, and he more or less just spends his jobless days calling in tips to the police station for money because he's that observant. He's hyper aware and hyper observant of things on TV, so he pretends to be a psychic detective when one crime in particular, he delivers information so good that the cops think he's somehow involved with it. So he pretends to be a psychic and spends the next 8 seasons with his best friend Gus, who works in the medical field, basically solving crimes together. It's very much the straightforward Sherlock Holmes analogy of, the hyper observant detective and the medical best friend that has to explain medical stuff to the audience, more or less to be the surrogate there. But Psych is by far my favorite TV show, and it wasn't until much later that I noticed a lot of parallels between Psych and Clue in a lot of different aspects. First and foremost, you got a lot of the guest stars. Now, granted, Psych did a Clue-themed episode with the 100th Clue. The 100th episode of Psych was specifically dedicated to Clue, and you got actors like Martin Mull, Leslie Ann Warren, and Christopher Lloyd all in that one episode. But just take that episode aside. You have Tim Curry, the GOAT, Tim Curry, in American Duos in season 2, which is arguably, the best episode of Psych of all time. When I'm introducing people to Psych, the first episode I show them is American Duos because it's just brilliant. But even taking those aside, you get another one with Howard Hessman in the Down the Stretch Comes Murder episode, the horse racing episode. The police chief from the end of Clue has also been on Psych. Now, granted, Psych had a lot of cameos, so you're just like, maybe it's just a happy accident. John Landis, iconic director and screenwriter from the 80s, he actually co-wrote the original Clue alongside some other writers, and actually directed 3 episodes of Psych and wrote several others if I'm not mistaken. One episode in particular that he directed was American Duos, starring Tim Curry. Also, just a quick aside, John Landis also did an American Werewolf in London, and Psych would end up doing their own version of a werewolf episode. Psych has a lot of loving homage episodes, but also just in its style and humor. Clue is very fast-paced in its line delivery and just quirky, dark, morbid sense of humor. I mean, that's probably why I like it. It's got a very dark sense of humor. You've got people shuffling around a dead body.
Just checking.
Everything all right?
Yep, 2 corpses, everything's fine.
So I'm just a really big fan of that rapid fire, snappy, fast dialogue, almost Aaron Sorkin if he was more of a humorous writer, and that's exactly where you get the improv and comedic stylings of Clue with all those comedic geniuses that were in that movie. I rewatched Clue for research for this video, and I'm just going, wow, there's a lot of just fun, subtle jokes that Psych goes throughout its entire tenure.
Oh, you must be Mr. Green. Yeah. Sit!
Sit.
No.
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 Give it back.
No. Hate when he does that.
Now can we all start freaking out?
I can't take any more scares.
Why does it always have to be a dead guy?
All those fun references aside, I think Psych and Clue have such a parallel interest group of like fans, myself included, because while they're both very dark sense of humor at times, they're very lighthearted and fun and never take themselves too seriously and poke fun at more or less the genre that they're in. Clue is very much like tongue-in-cheek murder mystery, whereas Psych almost kind of makes fun of the cop show, but not in a mean-spirited way. It's funny after a few seasons of Psych in which there's a fake psychic detective. The CBS show The Mentalist came out, and boy, do they take some shots at The Mentalist over the years. Not in a mean way, but just kind of poking fun at, wow, it sure is a coincidence that some other show just happened to have the same basic premise as us, except more super serious guys. I like just fun parodies of a specific genre if it's done well. Both Clue and Psych feel like love letters to the respective genres, and Psych in particular feels like it's taking a lot of its inspiration from Clue. It works as a comedic tone of a show, and it also works from a mystery standpoint. Granted, some mysteries in Psych are better than others, but as a diehard fan of Sherlock Holmes as a kid, if you give me a good comedy and a good mystery, I'm 100% on board. It's why 2019's Knives Out is still one of my all-time favorite movies, because that perfectly blends the comedy and a genius mystery. I love Clue. I love Psych. If you have not checked out both of them, I really think they're for everybody. But if you've only seen Clue, check out Psych, because I will shout from the mountaintops that I understand that Psych had 8 seasons. It still does not get the love and appreciation that it fully deserves. Like, yeah, it lasted for a while, but I don't think it ever broke through to the mainstream consciousness that other shows of the time, like How I Met Your Mother, did. Like, I still see people referencing that to this day. But like I said, Psych is one of those shows that I cannot recommend to nearly enough people. I have tried repeatedly, just about to everybody that will listen, of, you gotta watch Psych, you gotta give it a shot. I know it ended 10 years ago. Oh, that hurts to say out loud. Time, you suck. Oh, Psych ended 10 years ago, when 2006 to 2014, and as far as I know, Peacock's got all of Psych. You gotta check it out. Check out Clue. They're both fantastic, but also interweave them. Watch Clue and then watch Psych, and you get a whole bunch more of the Psych references, because both Clue and Psych, the jokes fly a mile a minute, and I absolutely love that style. It's kind of, for better or for worse, it's kind of what I've modeled my own style of humor off of. But what do you guys think? Are you big fans of Psych? Are you big fans of Clue? Have you seen neither? Have you seen one but not the other? Whatever your thoughts, let me know down in the comments below. You like this style of video? You want to see more like this? Whatever your thoughts, let me know down in the comments below, as I like hearing from you guys. And as always, if you like what you see and want to see more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay sharp, movie guys and gals.